What is up, Sooner Nation? I am Casey Mallon, and you are now. Come on, get with me. You got that right. In a Sooner state of mind. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcast and Spotify. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, NHL to entertainment and political props. Head to BetOnline today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here. Sooner state of mind, family. What is good? Going down the road, feeling bad. If I'm going to hell in a bucket, at least I am enjoying the ride. That is debatable. We saw some Sooner Magic turn tragic last weekend. Sooners go on the road and lose to Missouri 30-23. And it's hard to pick a most disappointing game of the season. This might be it. Knowing what was on the line, what we had to have happen, trying to make a bowl game, needing this win, looking like we had the win, only to see all of it dissolve in a matter of a couple minutes was mind-blowingly frustrating. Sooners do drop to the Mizzou Tigers 30-23. And we really let one get away. We had this game. We should have beat these punks. We should have destroyed them. Great defensive effort. Some good out of the running game. We'll get to that in a little bit. Some stuff to like there. But just too incredibly sloppy, man. 4 turnovers on the day. 6 fumbles. Lost 4 of those bad boys. Ugh. Just brutal. Costly. And that's been a theme for this season. Anytime we get a little prosperity or the defense sets us up, the offense seems to repay the favor to the opposing team and gives that ball right back. We saw that in the Tennessee game, and we definitely saw it in this game. I was loving what this defense did. Now, granted, they gave up the go-ahead score late in this game. Defender falls down. We'll get to that too, but completely disappointing. Jackson Arnold, 15-24, 74 yards. That's not... Bro, that is not a typo. I did not mess that up. 74 yards passing on 15 attempts, or 3.1 per, whatever you like. The punter, Luke Elzinga, had 43 yards on 1 pass. Taylor Tatum had 18 yards on 1 pass. Those guys had 61 yards combined passing. JFA 74. WTF, people. We were worried that Joe John might mess around and figure out a way to keep this job. I don't think there's any way possible now. Started to see some of those mistakes rear their ugly head again with the turnovers. JFA way too careless with the ball, especially late in that thing. Ugh. The costly mistake just keeps coming up, and it's not just a single offender. There is enough to go around on this squad. Oh, no, man. It is disheartening. Muff punt. Fumble in the pocket. Fumble on a run. Fumble after a catch. Just brutal. Just brutal. Sooners wasted some opportunity. Could only get field goals in the first half. Going into halftime, up 9-3. Could have been a lot more. Without the turnovers in this game, we blow these fools out. I mean, Drew Pine wasn't much better. 14-27, 143 yards, 3 TDs. Well, I guess that is a little bit better, but who's keeping track of that crap? He got so many short fields. We made it easy on this dude. And then late in the game, when he had an opportunity, he took advantage of it and made us pay. But, we shut down that Missouri run game. They did have 46 carries, 135 yards, but less than 3 yards a carry. Their longest carry was 10 yards. Defense, once again, solid performance. Doing enough that we should have won that game early on that 4th down. Billy Bowman blasting Luther Burden the third. I love that play. Danny Stutzman, 19 tackles on the day. Got some great play from these Sooners, man. And they were not rewarded. And so frustrating. So frustrating. JFA, man. I know there's been a lot of adversity and he's handled himself in the right way, but I'm not seeing the development in that dude's game. At the beginning of the season, thought, yeah, he could totally struggle. He's, his first season as a starter. No receivers, banged up offensive line, but we should have some chemistry at this point in the season. And we just don't have it. It was nice to get Deion Burks back, but only 5 receptions for 44 yards. Not enough. Bauer Sharp, 5 targets. Farouk, only 2. I don't know what's going on with this squad, man. I guess bright spot. The offensive line, I thought, played pretty well. They were run blocking their asses off, which is good. Only gave up 3 sacks, but in that run game, there were points where it looked pretty awesome. And moving forward, I don't know what the injury status of Barnes and Sawchuk is, but Xavier Robinson, you got to be stoked seeing this cat. Between him and Tatum, I think that's going to be pretty good moving forward. I think we're in great hands at the running back position. And like I said, I thought the offensive line did a great job blocking. Just the mistakes, man. Constantly. Mistakes. Left and right. Turnovers. Penalties. It's the same crap every week. Oh no, man. It's just brutal. That was a very winnable game. We knew we were stepping up to stiffer competition, obviously, going to the SEC. No question about it. But this team, even with all the injuries, is too good to be sitting at 5-5. Not getting enough out of the quarterback position. And that's not all Arnold's fault, but what are we doing when we have 74 pass yards? What kind of offensive scheme is that? Tell you we're not going downfield at all. That being said, dude, we were right in this freaking game. Defense held Mizzou to under 300 yards, under 3 yards a carry, under 150 yards passing, taking out the sack yardage, but that should be enough, man. That should be enough. We had everything we needed in this game, and we just could not overcome our own mistakes. And that's been the theme of this year: mistakes and injuries. If we get that win, we're feeling pretty good about the future. We got 2 weeks to sit on it. Sooner Magic shows up late in this game. Get that bad boy tied up late in the fourth quarter. Taylor Tatum with the touchdown pass to JFA. Yes, baby, we got this thing tied. Feeling good about life. Ensuing Missouri possession. Pop with the hit. It's a fumble. Guess who's there? You know who is there. It's Billy freaking Bowman, baby. Scoop and score, 43 yards. It's a touchdown. Sooners are up. Two minutes left in the game. Just got to get one freaking stop. Good on first and second down. And then on third down, a crap holding call on Woody Washington. Gomer Pyle and that officiating crew trying to give the Tigers this freaking ball game. That incompletion on second down, he said, "Oh, it's a fumble. That's a first down." It picked it up. What was he looking at? It's like these cats were on the take. That was the biggest bullcrap call I've ever seen. It's a fumble. Everybody saw his arm moving forward. The ball went forward. It's not a fumble. It's an incomplete pass. Gosh, Sarge, I don't know what's going on. Those cats looked like they were on the take. And then some crap holding penalty on Woody Washington when the quarterback's already out throwing the ball away, has no impact on the play whatsoever, didn't impede anything. And these dumbasses are going to jump in this game and make that stupid call. It's a bunch of crap. Bailout call. And then, of course, that gives them new life. They drive down. They do make some plays. I'll give them that. Our defender falls down. Luther Burden with the huge catch, setting them up on 3rd and 16. Give them a first down inside the 20. And then Theo Wees would ultimately make us pay for that. Okay. There's a bunch of bullcrap. These refs sucked. Terrible. But that being said, Sooners, with just over a minute, still have an opportunity. Pick up some yards on first down. Okay, I'm liking it. Xavier Robinson picks up 5. 2nd and 5 from the 35. JFA looking downfield. Too careless with the ball. Fumble. Scoop and score. Zion Young. Touchdown. Missouri. Sooners down 30-23. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Just can't have it right there. Live to, fight another day. Get it to overtime. You cannot fumble the damn football right there. You just can't have it. Can't do it. Got to clean it up. I don't care what the circumstances are. You have to take care of the football. And then on that ensuing Sooners possession, Deion Burks gets lit up. The dude leaves his feet, launches, crown of the helmet, right into Burks' face mask. No targeting penalty. They don't even look at it. The refs turn their back to the play. Those a-holes knew what was going on there. I cannot believe that they didn't even look at that. What a bunch of crap. Like I said, Gomer Pyle and these goons were on the take because that's a bunch of crap. Would we have lost the game anyways? Probably. But still, to not even look at that, to call that is the clearest targeting I've ever seen. Dude speared him, left his feet, launched with his freaking helmet down. What are we doing here, people? And they might look at it later and say, oh, yeah, that should have been. And they'll go back and they'll look, oh, that was not a holding call on Woody Washington. Felt like they were trying to give this game to Missouri late. And maybe it helps just to be a little angry at someone else beside the squad. And we did our own mistakes. And there was plenty that we did to cost us this game, but it doesn't help when you're fighting a reffing and officiating crew too. It was a bunch of crap. Ugh. And, I fully expected us to win this game, go into the bye week, feeling pretty good about things. And then, hey, we got that win out of the way. If we can grab one of these next two, so that would be good. But to have something to feel good about. Now we go into those final 2 games and after the bye week feeling like total crap. It's almost like this team now expects something to go wrong. And so does the fan base, and they're probably right about that. Something will go wrong. They're going to have to dig deep to find a way to get one of these last 2 games. And I don't know, man. I think everything is on the table for when we come back out of the bye. There's some, murmurs about Casey Thompson playing. Why not at this point, it's just not good enough at the quarterback position. JFA's got to clean that stuff up. And in that position, you cannot, under any circumstance, fumble the ball right there. It's tough enough to win when you're not making mistakes. And when you're making those mistakes, it's even more brutal. And, you cannot succeed in this league not getting great play out of your quarterback, not getting consistent play at a minimum. And turnovers and penalties will get you. And when you're -3 in the turnover ratio, you're going to lose the game. But that being said, Billy Bowman scoops that freaking ball, gives the Sooners lead. 2 minutes left. We should have put this damn game away. And we would have earlier without all the turnovers. You know, some of that's got to be on BV. Read some stuff that the guys are too afraid to make mistakes. They're pressing too hard. That's a bunch of crap. You go out there and you play football. So now we know for sure that we will be looking for a new OC. University brass came out and said that their confidence in Venables has not wavered. And I still think he's the right dude for this gig. But he has to make a home run hire on whoever comes in as the offensive coordinator. It has to be a great, great hire. BV is still, I mean, look at the defensive players he's recruited and they've got going. The future is bright. Got a lot of stuff in place. Defense is going to be absolutely game busters next year. We are losing some great pieces, but there is plenty of talent there. And we'll see some of those cats taking their licks early on. That's why it would have been so nice to get a bowl game. And that's still not dead, but it's just gotten incredibly, incredibly more difficult to get there now after dropping this stupid game. But those young guys are going to get an opportunity to play. And we've seen some wacky crap go down this season. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that these guys can win one of these last 2 games. But if we're only getting 74 yards out of the pass game, no. If we're turning the ball over 4 times, no. Ain't going to work. Got to clean that crap up. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. And now we're going to be sitting here during this bye week reminiscing about how we let that one get away. And, you know, a handful of plays. It's probably more than that. I mean, we've just not gotten good play out of the quarterback on a consistent basis. There's been spots where it's been great, but overall just not good enough. Especially not at Oklahoma. And I know it doesn't matter because nothing is going to freaking change it, but we had Dylan Gabriel. Should have made a better effort to keep dude here. I know what the optics on the outside are looking like and what people are saying. I'm not sure I buy any of that crap. I think we kind of opened up the door and let him go. And his leadership on this team would have made a difference. Now, it would have still been tough with the way the O-line is played and the way that these receivers are playing, but I can't help but think a guy with that much experience and games under his belt would have been able to make this offense function at a higher level. I know he would have. You can't convince me of anything otherwise. Dude would have had this team looking a lot different. Would it have been undefeated? I don't know. You can't say that. Would it have been better than 5-5? Yes. Is there at least 2 more wins on this schedule with Dylan Gabriel starting? Yes. You know, I know it doesn't matter now. Who gives a crap because it wasn't happening. It isn't happening. But you got to wonder what that dude would have done with this defense, with what we've seen, what we have at running back now. He might have been able to right that ship when we were working through all that stuff with the offensive linemen and finding those diamonds in the receiving core. And now I don't know what it looks like next week or 2 weeks. Burks took a huge hit. That was a bunch of crap. Those stupid Gomer Pyle dumbass refs. Can't let it go. That's a bunch of crap. We're talking about player safety. Where were they on that? Morons. Morons, I tells ya. So we have to stew on this crap for a whole nother week. But that might be a good thing because I don't know if I could take another Sooner loss this weekend. I might need a week to prepare myself for what will potentially be a beatdown at home against Alabama. Because those cats are playing good football, and we are not. Defense is playing good football, but the offense is out of sorts, man. And I don't know that I see this team as it is winning that game next week. Maybe you do bring Casey Thompson in. How healthy is he? Let a legacy go out. Try to get a couple games. And, if that changes up the dynamic, if people want to leave next year because of that, maybe we let these cats go because it's certainly not been good enough to matter this season. I know you're learning on the job, and that is difficult. And quarterback is the most difficult position to play in all of sports. But not seeing improvement. It's not getting better at that position. Stuff on the offense is, but the quarterback play has not been good enough. I know we're spoiled. We've had, 10, 15, almost 20 years of great play at that position. Heisman Trophy play at that position. Some of the best doing it in the NFL right now out of the University of Oklahoma. But that's here nor there because that's not happening now, and we need it more than ever. So it's time for this team to take a hardcore look at how they want to finish these last couple weeks and maybe find a way to steal one of these last couple of games. We shall see. Very frustrating. We did get word, though, that will be a night game against Alabama. Not this week, but next week. I think that is a 5:30 start in Oklahoma. Ooh, 4:30. 4:30. Okay. All right. I see you. That's good. All right. 6:30 there. I wonder if that means that LSU game won't be a night game. Who knows? Oh. Dudes. Can't believe it. I just can't freaking believe it. Oh, well. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So how about some teams that aren't sucking from last week? Oregon improves to 10-0, destroying Maryland 39-18. Ohio State does their thing. Blowed out Purdue, shut out Purdue 45-0. Couple shockers from last week. Lane Kiffin and those Ole Miss Rebs put a beat down on Georgia 28-10. Jackson Dart wasn't the 6 TDs from the previous week, but did just enough, man. Got it going with his legs, got it going with his arms, and they put a beat down on them dogs. Now the dogs are on the outside looking in, and we'll get to that in just a minute. Georgia Tech, baby, beating those Canes 28-23. Got the huge defensive stop late in that game. Sack fumble of Cam Ward. Dude is still putting together a real nice season. Had those Yellow Jackets sweating though late. But they did just enough to hold on and knock Miami out of the ranks of the undefeated. Indiana, I think they were 14-point favorites in this one, did just enough. They beat Michigan 20-15. They improved to 10-0. Got a huge game in a couple weeks against The Ohio State University. Woo! That's going to be tasty because if Oregon keeps doing what they're doing, there's only one other spot open for that Big Ten championship. I think the loser probably still gets into the 12-team playoff, but win that game and you are in. BYU needed some last second heroics to upset the Utes. The battle for Utah. BYU 22, Utah 21. The Cougs stay undefeated, 9-0. Grimy, ugly, dirty win. Maybe shouldn't have got it, but they did. Found a way to get it done. And the Cougs staying undefeated, man. Might have a game with some Buffaloes coming up. That would be sweet to see. Oklahoma's next opponent. Oh, Alabama. What have they been doing? Oh, they just put a 42-13 beat down on Brian Kelly's LSU Tigers. That is not good news for us. Know what else is not good news? Jalen Milroe, 12 carries, 185 yards, and 4 touchdowns. We're going to get to see that up close next week. And my prediction is bad things, people. Bad things. Heisman watch, Boise State. They're trying to stay in that playoff. Ashton Genty, 34 carries, 209 yards, 3 touchdowns. Dude is having a monster season. Be fun to see Boise stay in that playoff mix. Kansas brutalizing Iowa State. Oh, what a letdown. Rock Chalk Jayhawk, baby. 45. Iowa State 36. I don't know how it's going to play out at the end of the season for the Big 12. I don't know if Iowa State can get into that Big 12 championship now. They have 2 losses. And another team with just 2 losses are the Colorado Buffaloes. They pull away from Tech late, 41-27. Shedeur Sanders, 30 of 43, 291 and 3 touchdowns, making a late push to get into that 12-team playoff. And another undefeated team, Army. They beat North Texas 14-3. Not their best performance of the year, but they're still undefeated. Are they getting any love from the committee? So far, the answer to that is no. They are not in the 12-team playoff right now. They're going to have to run the table to try to get in there. And if they do, how do you keep an undefeated Army team out? We're going to find out. I would love to see them go on a run and finish the season undefeated. Throw a little chaos into this mix. But as of this week, your top 4 seeds are the Oregon Ducks, the Texas, 2 S's, Longhorns, number 3, BYU, and number 4, Miami. Miami's still there, even with that loss. And your first round matchups as of now would be Tennessee at Notre Dame, Ohio State at Boise State, Penn State at Ole Miss, and Indiana at Alabama. Some pretty sexy games right there. This is all going to change moving forward, but I'm pumped for this. Would I be more pumped if the Sooners were in it? Hell yes, but at least we have this to look forward to, even though we won't be anywhere near it. It is something to be stoked about. So take the good, take the bad, take them both. And there you have the facts of life. Yeah, the facts of life. So what do we have for this weekend? We do have some tasty games. Let's see what the old Bet Online has as far as odds go. Not a bunch of great games this week. Texas looks to stay on track. They're 13-point favorites at Arkansas. Clemson at Pittsburgh. Can Clemson hang on and get into that ACC championship? SMU might have something to say about that. Utah at Colorado. Colorado 11.5-point favorites at home. Utah almost wrecked BYU's chance at the Big 12 championship last week. I don't see them getting up as much for this game against Colorado as they did last week. Played a great game. gave BYU everything they wanted and then some, maybe should have gotten that win, weren't able to do it. Short week going to Colorado. Those vibes are cuckoo bananas in Colorado. I love that atmosphere. I love what Prime is doing there. Travis Hunter, Sanders, that is a fun team to watch. I want to see that story keep going. So I'm pulling for those Buffs next week. What else we got? SMU, they're hosting Boston College. They're 18.5-point favorites. Can they keep this thing rolling? They're going to have to. And then let's see what happens. LSU at Florida. LSU 4.5-point favorites. Are they just going to tank these last two games? I hope at least the last one. Florida is a whole nother mess there. So LSU, this could be a get-right game for those guys. Nebraska at Suck. Suck 9-point favorites at home. Got a couple sanctions there. Just kid stuff, though. Only a small fine for Tebow. But I know we kind of got a chuckle out of that. His non-compliance. Missouri at South Carolina. South Carolina's 12.5-point favorites. Can Beamer's boys do us a solid? Just beat the crap out of those stupid Tigers. They had no business winning that game. That was a bunch of bull crap. Stupid. Hate when we have to reach out for another team to do our biz, but that's where we're at in this season. Okay. Josh Heupel and his Tennessee Vols at the Georgia Bulldogs. Them dogs are 11-point favorites at home. I think it's been almost 10 years since Tennessee's not gotten a double-digit beatdown on the road against these dogs, maybe even at home too. Georgia has owned them as of late. This is a loser leaves town game. The loser of this one, no shot at the 12 team. The winner, right in the mix. Right now, Georgia's not even in that mix. So Beck has not been playing great football. There's a lot of talent on that squad. This is a huge game for Hype. This could be a career-defining game for this dude. I would love to see these Vols get this game and Georgia's season and keep themselves right in the mix for the playoff. As much as I hate the color orange, I will be rooting for those Vols this weekend. Could this be a trap game? Oregon at Wisconsin. DG and the Ducks, 14-point favorites. It's going to be cold, baby. But Oregon should be able to handle their biz there, unless Mr. Tawi Walker has something to say about that. But I love the way Oregon is playing football right now. And Kansas at BYU. Those Cougs are 3-point favorites at home. I don't know that Kansas can go on the road and find that same mojo they had last week to upset Iowa State. We saw last year how tricky it is to play at BYU. That's a team on a mission. They got past the game they should have lost last week with a win. So maybe they will be refocused and they will handle their business against the Jayhawks at home this weekend. Let's go ahead and look at a little pro football before we commiserate on our Sooners one more week. Let's go back to last week. I know they didn't win the game, but if you haven't seen it yet, get on Twitter, get on wherever you need to see Baker Mayfield, stiff arm, Nick Bosa right in his stupid caveman cranium, held that fool at bay, bought himself some time, hit the pass, huge first down on fourth down. And I don't know that there's another player in the league that their playing style matches their personality. Baker Mayfield, man, even if you're not a Sooner fan, if you say you don't love to watch this guy play football, you are absolutely lying because his personality is infectious. He is playing the best football of his career, and he's doing it without Chris Godwin, and he's doing it without Mike Evans. They should have won that game last week. Instead of kicking that field goal and getting into overtime, maybe should have gone for that touchdown to get it done. That's a couple weeks in a row. Monday night the previous week, Todd Bowles elects to kick the extra point and get it to overtime against the Chiefs rather than letting Baker try to cook from the 2-yard line, go for two and end that thing. So I put both of these losses on being too conservative. I know if they go the other way, everybody yells about it, but get those wins, man. Do Baker a solid. He deserved to get those wins, and I think the coaches let him down. Bate gets a week to rest, but that stiff arm, man, vintage Baker Mayfield. The rest of the world and the NFL watching world is finding out what Sooner Nation already knew, is that we love this dude, and he is an absolute baller, playing some of the best quarterback in the league right now, definitely up there in the top 5. Another guy kicking total ass, the NFC's Offensive Player of the Week, Kyler freaking Murray, dude. Playing awesome football. Him, Marvin Harrison Jr., a great connection. Trey McBride is an ascending superstar at the tight end position in this league. The Cardinals leading that NFC West. Who saw that coming at the beginning of the year? And James Conner, dude, this guy, the way he plays football, he is one of my favorite players in the league. He just runs like he is mad at the world. And last year, coming into the season, he said, we had to get rid of guys that he didn't know if they loved football or not. You don't question if this guy loves football. He absolutely does. And you see it the way he plays every down like it's his last. And it's just great to see Kyler and these Cardinals playing good football. Both the Bucks and the Cardinals are on a bye this week. And then Jalen Hurts, baby, got a huge game on Thursday against the Durs and Jaden Daniels, everybody's darling superstar, offensive rookie of the year. I'll give him that, but let's pump the brakes on this talk about the Durs being a legit squad. They go into Philly and beat the Eagles. I'll have some props for them, but I haven't seen them beat great teams yet. So until that happens, I'm still going to hold a little skepticism, but Daniels is exciting and he is hella fun to watch. And as a Cowboys fan, this is a disgusting game for me, but I guess I have to go where there's more Sooners. Lane, Calcaterra, and Hurts are on those Eagles, so I will be backing the Eagles in that game, as gross as that feels. I will watch it, and then I will take a shower after the game because it is so gross. And if the Durs somehow win that game, I'll be happy because the Eagles lost. But I'm going to ride with the Eagles because of my Sooners there. And then the Sooners East, a.k.a. the Kansas City Chiefs, the team with the most Sooners on their roster, they have a huge game against those Buffalo Bills. Chiefs with the last-second field goal block against the Broncos last week to preserve the win and stay undefeated at 9-0. Impressive. They're probably not going to have Wanye in this game, and the guy that came in for him was getting beat like a drum. So we will see what happens. They're going to have to keep a tight end in to help chip that guy because he was getting destroyed. Oh, and last week, real quick, for the Denver Broncos, Nick Bonito, baby. I almost called you bro. I almost called you baby, so I called you Braby. Nick Bonito, Braby, is really coming to his own. He's becoming an elite pass rusher in this league. If you're not watching all the football games like I am, you might not have seen this, but super stoked for this guy. But we're talking about the Chiefs and all our Sooners, Creed and the boys on that roster, 9-0, going to Buffalo to play the 8-2 Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen also playing incredible football, MVP level, banged up at the receiver position. Not sure who's even going to have out there. Won't have Coleman. Won't have the tight end Kincaid. They found a bit of the running game with James Cook, who's playing probably his best football too. Going to see if Amari can go in this and Shakur and good old Dawson Knox. But Buffalo needs this game. Kansas City just finding ways to win football games. That team is a chameleon. They don't go deep anymore because they don't have the personnel. They can, they can grind it out, play defense, and run the football. But if Mahomes has to do his thing, he can do that as well. This is a huge game. I'd say it's bigger for the Bills than it is for the Chiefs. Chiefs are going to have to lose at some point. They're not going undefeated. You stack all the wins they got to finish last season, and it's pretty close to being 16 or 17-0. I'm not sure how many it was. It was at least 4 to finish, so that's at least 13 right there. And even if the Bills win this game, it doesn't change anything other than giving them a little belief that they might be able to hang in the postseason. But we're talking Kansas City Chiefs looking at a three-peat here. So while they want to win this game and stay undefeated and are finding ways to win football games, which is incredible to watch, and you got to appreciate how hard that is, especially in the NFL to do. If they lose this game, it's a road game at Buffalo that is incredibly important to the Bills. It's one the Chiefs would like to win, but they do not have to win. So it will be fun to watch, if nothing else. And a couple other good games this weekend. The Falcons at the Broncos. That's kind of a sexy game. The Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers, baby. The Steelers have a one-half game lead over the Ravens in the AFC North. That is a huge game. Russ is starting to cook with those Steelers, getting the ball to the receivers. George Pickens, man, has lit it up the last couple weeks. Mike Williams with a huge touchdown coming over in a trade with the New York Jets. That is a huge, huge divisional game, and I cannot wait to see it. And if you are a football junkie like I am, and you're into the NFL too, make sure you check out the Trend Zone. That's my NFL podcast, also on the Football Dudes, also available for subscription on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And while you're subscribing to podcasts on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Google Podcasts and Amazon Music, go ahead and subscribe to Sooner State of Mind because it is free, people. Free football goodness. You got to take advantage of that situation. Also, head on over to Believe.com. That is BLEAV.com. Go to shows, type in Sooner State of Mind, and you are locked, my friends. And it's not just Sooners. We have a ton of great content. Every team, every topic, everywhere, Believe.com. And if you want to watch Sooner State of Mind, head on over to YouTube and search the Football Dudes. We are there. Go ahead and subscribe. Comment. Rate us 5 stars. Talk to me, people. Let's talk football. I love to do it. That's what I do. I'm waiting for you to make it a dialogue instead of a monologue. You can't shut me up. I can keep going. But if we want to get a little back and forth, I am totally cool with that. What are your thoughts where this Sooner state of the team is? Do you want a new OC? Do you want a new head coach? Do we need a new quarterback? What is going to fix this squad? If you got ideas, I'm listening, but you got to type your little Tuesdays in there and make it happen, okay? Sooner State of Mind is brought to you by Bet Online. My name is Casey Mallon, and I am always and forever in a Sooner State of Mind. Be good, people.